Everyone, hope you guys are doing swell, well, and quite compelled to live your life and thoroughly excel. Today, we are going to be doing a full moon reading for the full moon in Aries on Friday, since on Friday I'll be doing the collective reads for the elementals. So we're going to go ahead and get started on that. And I want to do this kind of where I can see the moon on my window. I'm pointing that way because that's where it is, but I'm staring at my window right here, looking at the sunset. But yeah, we're going to read obviously the proverb, not obviously because last time I didn't, but this time we are. And then we're going to go ahead and get into the reading for everything else, okay? So the proverb that was pulled was the number 9. And we're going to go ahead and open it up and see what that means in regards to the full moon in Aries and how that may affect you, okay? The taming power of the small, above wind, below heaven. There is rapid movement in the sky as clouds blow swiftly and change shape, but no rain will fall. In times of chaotic motion, there is no point in striving for completion. Through small actions, subtle persuasion, and observation, circumstances can be prepared for future success. Gentleness will turn to strength in its proper time. It says, wind blows through heaven, nothing substantial can be accomplished, okay? So right now at this moment, it is just saying take those small steps, especially with the full moon in Aries, which I'm going to get into, is about planning your next step forward. Instead of just always bum rushing in or just like, yeah, let's do it. So it means that sometimes planning out your steps, weighing your options, seeing exactly what you want to do, and then just slowly doing that, slowly making that progression versus trying to make a big risk, a big deal, which sometimes that Aries energy can make you feel like, yeah, let's do that. So it means of actually, let's take a step back and relax, okay? So what I am going to do is I'm going to read the full moon in Aries, and then I'm going to read the cards that I've already pulled, okay? So the full moon in Aries is a fiery climax approaches. It is time to see if you've been a little bit too much me. There's a tug of war going on between what you want and what someone else wants. But you'll have to wait a little while to see what's going to happen next. As you wait, ask yourself if you've been handling the situation as sensitively as you could have done. If you know deep down that you've been a little rash or harsh, going too fast, or overstepped the mark, then accept that on some level you've created this situation yourself, which means you can create your own way out of it too. When this card comes up, a peak is coming and it could be fiery, which again is why the proverb is saying take those steps. It's not time to keep going and keep moving. Take those small things, subtle persuasion, subtle action, subtle movements. Like I said last time, where it could be daily meditation, your daily activities, things that you are setting up in your daily life that is structured, that is also slowly and subtly still moving towards that progression without needing to make a big ass collective decision, okay? Riskful decision or a brash decision, or one that they said is you're not just kind of just doing things, okay? So the affirmation is, I am nice, kind, and I smile. I will be polite as I navigate to where I want to be. Okay, this doesn't say I will dismiss my boundaries. It doesn't say I will accept things that are less than what I want. It isn't saying that. It's just saying while I'm going where I'm going, whether I am facing some obstacles, some issues, some delays, some struggles at this moment, like the proverb said, or like this may be saying with this fiery climax approaching, I am still going to be nice, kind, and smile, right? And it means that I'll be nice, kind to myself as well as to others. And I will be polite as I navigate to where you want to go. Okay? So the additional meanings are being assertive is good. Just don't rush hide over anyone. Right? Like, I know better. It's just like, we're going to do it. I already know what it is. This is how it's going to be. It's just a means of now you're riding rush hide. Like, there's no other alternative perspective or things of that sort. It says, if you're in a tense situation, meditate your way to peace. Don't be a baby. Okay, and it says you need to have more fun. If you feel like you are going to make a decision that can really alternate and you're not quite sure, you don't have all the information, or you haven't quite thought it out, or you're feeling like it's anxiety ridden, or you're like, I'm going to do this because of this, or you don't feel like it's actually in a solid place, Maybe distribute that to having fun. Maybe distribute that to meditating. Maybe distribute that to a different outlet, to a different goal, to a different meaning. Versus like, I need to make this decision now because of how I'm feeling. Maybe don't make that decision now because of how you're feeling, okay? At this mean in time, we also have a lot of Virgo energy. We have full moon in Virgo, and that is you are good enough. So we're going to go ahead and go to that. Okay. It says it is time to be really honest with yourself and understand what's led you to ask your question. If there was a question before this, if you don't have a question and or you thought of a question during this reading, and if you still don't have one and it comes on later on, okay? It says, have you been humble to the point of self-effacing? Humility is good, but it can go too far, and drawing this card suggests you may be underrating yourself, which can be also why you could be riding rawhide on someone. It's because you want to be like, no, I know exactly what I'm talking about. It is what it is. I'm trying to show you that I'm worth it, this and that. I know what I'm talking about, in the means of now it's overstepping to a point where it's like, do you just feel like maybe you haven't taken the credit where you need to necessary as well, right? So it says you don't have to be flash, just quietly certain that you are good enough, which again is that subtle persuasion like the Proverbs, still slowly doing what you need to do. So that way you are still able to be that full moon in Aries, that climax, that reaching that peak, that understanding of while I am still making my moves, I'm going to be polite and smile along the way because I recognize that I'm good enough. I'll be kind and strong with myself as I am with others while I'm still going to where I need to go. I don't need to humble myself to the point being quiet, and I don't need to remember the pain of the past, and now I'm doing extra things just to prove that I don't need to. Okay. Okay. It says at the other end of the scale or the question, it says you need to honestly answer, have you been too picky? Right? So again, that's on the other side. If you feel like it's at this point, it's like maybe you are pushing it to the limit. Sometimes it's a means of recognizing that I'm good enough, but am I limiting myself to what I feel like I am actually good enough for? Am I continuously going towards opportunities because I feel like this is the best opportunity out there because this is what I know about? It's certain things of that sort of what are you accepting, what are you taking on, okay? So, it says, once you've given them some thought, it should be easier to see how you got to where you are. Especially in the last one, it said if this is the situation you got yourself into, you can get yourself out of it, right? It says your next step should be then more than obvious. Pay attention to the details. Hard work brings results. Like I said, slowly, continuously going forward and doing what you need to do. Okay, it says the affirmation is, I will find balance between the cosmic and the mundane in my daily life. Okay, I will find the balance between the cosmic and the mundane in my daily life. Again, bringing back to that mundane that I believe we got on Monday and for last week, where it was finding the beauty in that. Sometimes that is where the calm is found, the serenity is found, the answers are found, right? The questions for diving into self, the healing, the growth, that can be where it is found, is recognizing that in itself. The lighting is a little weird. I don't know what's happening. So my head look weird. But I digress. I possess. We do not stress. Okay. Additional meanings are worrying too much will attract more things to worry about. Have you been overly critical? An apology may be in order. Stop second guessing yourself. Raise your karma by doing something good for someone else. And Virgos are all about that humanitarian effect and things of that sort. So taking all of that in as well. Doing a selfless act. It is also, like I said, sharing your gifts, your knowledge, your wisdom, your time. And you don't need to have monetary gains or actual physical things in order to still share and get that karma back to you for doing something in that sort, okay? All right, it also says the teaching is to declutter your life, your home, and your office. It's time to sort what's good in your life from what's not serving you. It's also time to clear out your energies via salt baths and meditations, and to practice getting more grounded by walking barefoot. Okay? Yeah, all right. Now, the next one that we got is the new moon in Virgo, okay? It's time to give rather than take. Again, it's in a means of sometimes giving. People feel like I have to give with monetary gains. I have to give them my extra time. Sometimes it's just giving maybe your crafts, your talents, your words, your wisdom, advice, a space for somebody to be in. It doesn't have to always be in like a physical sense. It can be an emotional sense of giving, on a spiritual sense of giving, on whatever it is. So it's time to give rather than take. Right? And it means of the more that you're also can be living in your purpose is also means of you having that as well brought back to you of what you are willing to work for and thrive for in the daily life or the mundane of it all. And that is where you are also able to find the supernatural, the spiritual, the magical of it all, because it's like, wow, I'm just doing this every day and this is what's happening. It adds to that. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and go to the new moon. Alrighty, so we're just gonna go ahead and alright, there we go. It says this card suggests a restart, and the Virgo energy suggests you make that restart a clever one that's simple and well organized. Like I said, making some plans, making some structures. There you go, sir. Okay, thank you, goodbye. Nobody wants to see your cat butt. I promise. He's going out the window. The affirmation for this. I'm sorry. Make me skip ahead. If the situation is blocked at the moment, the question, the thought, the process, where you want to go, what you need to do, how to meditate, how to heal. It says it could be that you're over analyzing things or being too critical, which sometimes that could be a Virgo trait. And things just on the basic lines of it, of taking it all in and wanting things to be perfect, but over analyzing it to the point of not actually doing anything about it, of not actually putting that into work. I feel like every step of the thing, every step of the way has to be perfect, but then you actually never start the steps in the first place. Okay, so it says it's time to ask less what someone else can do for you and to think more about what you can do for others. Right? So it's a means of, are you utilizing the own resource of yourself? Which the last few readings are, you have food at home, make sure that you're hydrating your body, taking care of your body, because like I said, it is something that you will have to be relying on, especially in this time with the Virgo card energy of now it is time to provide that growth in what you have been doing in a way that is a little bit small, maybe a little bit subtle, right? And not in a means of hiding yourself, being too humility, right? And a means of making sure that you are doing it with a way of progression for the best of you, which is why they want you to know, is this worth my time? Is this worth my energy? That's why the first card is you are good enough, because you have to recognize what you are good enough to be giving to in the first place, because that is what you will be taking in. Right? Whether you're in a space, whether you're talking to someone, contemplating it, it is still taking up some type of energy and time. So be mindful of that, which is why they want you to declutter your home and space, so that way your environment is also as clean as you are trying to make your body, which is also the Virgo energy of clearing it out, detoxing, and taking that in. Because the last one that we have is a time for healing, which is the balsamic moon. Okay? So we're going to go ahead and take that in and read that. Sorry, we're not going to read that. I lied. I didn't lie, but I forgot to read the additional meanings for you in the affirmation. The affirmation for the new moon is, I will recommit to healthy morning and evening routines. Like I said, that is finding the beauty in the mundane, recognizing who you are and how you operate. And every little thing that you do is magical, is powerful, is abundant, and is worthy. And that is also worth sharing. Even just small little tips and tricks of how you get up in the morning, you like make your tea, and somebody's maybe been struggling with that. You're like, oh, I prepped before. Things even as small as that is how you can make a change in that growth as well. And that's still small, subtle movements, persuasion, slowly taking your steps there and walking, okay? Additional meanings for this card is gradual improvements are coming. Like I said, those steps, that planning, that organizing, right? That structure that you are building, right? It is ready, because right now, if you're trying to make those risky decisions like that proverb said, and just do it quick and do it now and jump in, right? You're jumping in to something that doesn't even have enough water, so that way you can come back up, right? And float. or it's not a soft landing. So there's a means of taking it in, recognizing those steps that you're taking are working, so that way you can have that lasting success. And don't worry, I will read the proverb again before I close out. The additional meanings again are: pay attention to detail if you want success without being penicetic, which again is paying attention to detail, being extra anal, over analyzing, overthinking, and never actually moving. Okay, it says be of service to others, and love and money will follow. Again, when you are just living your purpose, being who you are, it allows you to operate in saying yes to more things. And if love and money are energy, and you're putting out an energy of ready to receive as well as to give, it is going to do the same, because love wants to be received as well as give, and money loves to be received as well as spent. So taking all that in, especially with the past few readings where dealing with the financials or monetary things, especially in the economy or just the world we live in, it is something that of course can be on the forefront. But you neglecting yourself is not going to allow you to properly put yourself on the forefront. Okay, so it says the person you're asking about is reliable. Okay, it says this is the sign of health, service, and analysis. Okay, it is energy is precise, and it has a feel of the harvest about it, which we are about to reach with the harvest moon, which is beautiful, which we're happening on the full moon in Aries. So it just is accumulation of, again, your growth, of you being able to reap that benefit, especially with the pregnancy cards, with the waiting and expecting cards that you previously got in the readings as well. This is collectively for that. So this is why they don't want you to start making rash decisions and doing this and riding over people and just neglecting it, because now you're missing details and information that is going to help you. Okay, so the last card that we now have is now the balsamic moon, which is a time for healing. So let's go ahead and pull that up. Jeez Louise. Okay. It says, this card suggests that the past is in the past and a bright future is beckoning, which again, the love reading that we got when they pulled those cards, and that was one of the first readings that you got for the mind, body, and soul. And it said that you have to let go of the past, that you have to release, also with the daily cards from the mind, body, and soul, and releasing with the dead and letting go of the 6 and 7 of Pentacles. It is a means of that to allow you to push forward. My lazy eye is showing out today. Okay, so it says, however, before you take your next step, again, before you make that big decision, that big leap of saying like yes, 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 yes to this, allow yourself to say yes and no to things that are consistent in your daily life as well. Just make sure that both you and the situation feel healed, which again, this has been talking about a situation, questions, thoughts, and especially with the 9 of Pentacles coming up and something worrying you, that anxiety, that stress, that burden on you, it is a situation that you have been asking and thinking about. And it's a means of like that Queen of Wands energy, that Aries energy coming through, especially with this full moon. It is saying that it's time for you to be receptive, that feminine energy of still being confident and sure of yourself. Okay, it says this is not the time to paper over cracks or to simply pretend that everything is okay. Rather, you still need a little more time to heal or to soothe both yourself and anyone else in need, which again, if you need to apologize and do what you need to do as well. Okay, it says then remind yourself that anything is possible if you believe it. This is also a time to surrender and wait to hear guidance from the universe. Powerful insights can be had. If you know that someone or something really isn't good for you, this card is a reminder to surrender, which again lines up with the double genitals, which lines up with they don't care about you, move on, which lines up with they're using your energy, things of that sort. Again, people that you have to let go and release, so that way you can get rid of this false fantasy of that, and you can start using that and transmuting that into manifestations, into things of that sort for your benefit, versus things where you're trying to gather something that you don't want in the first place. Okay, it says excuse me, start to work on your belief in your dreams so you're ready when the time comes. The affirmation for this is, when one is healed, all are healed. Okay? So once you heal yourself, you're able to start helping to heal your environment while you are still there, and you need to remove yourself from the situation as well, which can heal things. Okay? Surprisingly sounds, but surprisings can be shocked. Okay? Additional meanings are: it's time to let go of the past. You are about to turn the corner, that fiery climax, you are reaching it. You need more time to heal, which is why they want you to take those steps. They want you to have a strong foundation again in your daily life, in your daily routine, so that way, again, when you are met with some things that are just the obstacles of life, like you got in the emotional readings as well, you don't feel like everything is shaken and stirred, and now it's like, whew. You'll be able to take change as change is supposed to be taken, with acceptance and detachment and readiness, right? Okay. So it says, think about how the situation would look if everyone were healed. The teaching in this is patience is required. It's time for self-care as you slowly but surely prepare yourself for the new moon, right? And again, the new moon energy doesn't have actually the new moon. I hope we all know that. Okay? It says, it is a reminder to go a little bit easier on yourself, which is why you want to be kind, which is why you want to smile. And I don't mean lying to yourself. If you're having a bad day, say you're having a bad day. If you're irritated, say that you're irritated. But it's in a means of not allowing that to sit and fester. Okay? All right. Let go and let go a little easier. It's time to step into your citrix power, and soon enough, give yourself the time you need. And that is why they want you to plan. That is why they want you to get ready. That is why they are waiting on you to start waiting on yourself a little bit. Don't rush what you're trying to cultivate. Okay? The proverb again is the taming power of the small, which means you have the power, you have the strength, you have the knowledge, the growth, the know-how. Okay? It says there is rapid movement in the sky as clouds blow swiftly and change shape, but no rain will fall. And we know rain is about release, purification, things of that sort. And that is what you also have to do. It says in times of chaotic motion, there is no point in striving for completion. So right now, it is saying while you are waiting and putting your goal on pause, or while you're still slowly moving towards your goal, you don't need to push yourself so hard. You don't need to feel like you gotta go quick, you gotta go fast, you gotta ignore people, you gotta go over them, you got to now humble yourself depending on how you are and how you operate. It's a means of recognizing you don't need to strive for that at this moment. Your goal is still there, you're still walking on that journey, but right now that is not in the means of what should be in your forefront. Healing should be in your forefront. Working on your gifts and understanding them should be in your forefront. Recognizing your power and honing in on that. Cultivating a clean and energetic environment and soul is what they want you to work on. It hasn't removed your goal. It's just saying don't strive for that right now, okay? It says through small actions, which is the daily and evening routines that they want you to do, which is the meditation, the journaling, the answering those questions, things of that sort. Subtle persuasion, it could be manifestation work, affirmations, it could be just talking, getting your name out there, just subtly charming people and adding into that what is and isn't working of that animal energy, okay? It says an observation, which is taking that in, especially with the wind energy. Wind energy is about, again, which is like air energy, which is about research, logic, communication, understanding, diving deeper, getting that insight, getting that expansion, that new life and growth. So taking that in with the understanding of that, you want to observe, which is why they want you to reflect and take a step back, so that way your daily routines line up with what is actually happening in your life and for the future. It says circumstances can be prepared for future success. Like I said, if you're rushing things, you can miss something. And when you get that success and you don't know how to operate because you don't know how to use your power in this instance, or you don't recognize it, or you don't feel like you have it, or you're trying to push that authority over people, right, with the reverse pentacles, and push that strength over people, it can lead to something that doesn't have actual success. But this will allow you to have that prepared success. It says gentleness will turn to strength in its proper time. But you trying to do that, you can sprain an ankle when you're doing that, right? Physical, pull a muscle, right? You can give yourself a headache doing too much at a time, with mental work, things of that sort. It's a means of taking that understanding collectively in. Allow yourself this progress. Like I said, you just went through some obstacles, some changes, some growth. So it's a means of recognizing But maybe it's going to take some time for your body to adjust, which it does need to, and which it has been going through. So allow yourself to heal and relax out of that stress. Take a vacation, have fun, go hang out with some friends, eat some of your favorite food, go there, whatever it is. But it's a means of now leading that to start that release, that fresh breath, okay? So that has been the full moon in Aries reading, which is happening on Friday, which is also the harvest moon. Please apply that to if it resonates with you or not. This is a timeless reading, so please watch when you can and allow that message to be received, okay? I do these live on my Instagram every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, but I actually will be having to change the dates, which I will announce on Friday what those new dates will be. You can find me on any platform at Latisse_Moon. Reflexes on it. Latisse_Moon. And yes, like, comment, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and please enjoy. Love you. Until next time.